Hey there, today I have an unboxing of comic books. This is the first time I've ordered from this particular seller. We're going to open it up, see what's inside, and then take a look at what I spent on the order to figure out whether it was worth my time and money. So let's get to it. All right, so I've been placing a number of orders using my comic book acquisition strategy, and I've called it a number of things, just trying to use information that I've been pulling in from different resources and looking at the values and potential values to help me kind of hone in on specific books. A lot of them aren't really even keys, but because of the age or rarity of the book or just popularity of the title or the character, it has value. And a lot of times you can get, I would say, pretty good deals when you're looking at different online outlets. And one of my favorites is Atomic Avenue. And I have an order here that I want to unbox, and this is from the seller TWolf0713. I don't know if that's his birthday or his lucky number, but I haven't ordered from this seller before, and I want to open this up and see what's inside. And it's a mixture of comics from like late 70s or early 80s, early 90s. So it's a nice mixture of about 10 or 11 books. And then I want to show you what I paid for the books and why I purchased them, and we can kind of play around with the numbers and see if it was worthwhile or not. So let's get to the unboxing here, and we'll start to look at the comics inside. All right, here we go. It's your favorite part and mine. It is the unboxing. This is, again, from the seller TWolf0713 on Atomic Avenue. Sent priority mail one day, which is awesome. I got free shipping from this particular seller. Some of the sellers on Atomic Avenue, I don't know if they've been maybe wise to my scheme or something, but I noticed that some of their free shipping options have gone away recently. So I'm not sure if that's a permanent change. I've reached out to one seller in particular to ask if he's going to restore his minimum, because that was one of the great benefits of ordering from Atomic Avenue and some of their sellers, is that they had free shipping options if you ordered a minimum amount. And this seller still has it, so I'm going to hopefully get some really great books in here and take advantage of free shipping above minimum order. So enough talking, let's get to it. Let's get these comics out and take a look. Okay, the struggle was real on this one. It's very interesting, pretty cool packing. They've used these foam corners that I've shown before on other videos, where I forget who it was, but they had sent me CGC slabs with these. These are awesome. So let me very carefully lift this out. But see, with the corner, this corner foam to prevent the books from sliding around. Really, really awesome packaging in here. Look at this. So I'm gonna save these guys. These are gold. So if you've got valuable comics to send in the mail and you don't want the corners damaged, because you see what happens here, it can fold over. You can use these corner foam pieces. That's awesome. So thank you very much to the seller. So far so good with how they were packaged. Let me get rid of this box. Super sturdy comic box. So I really I envy those folks that have these materials and use them. It's really very much appreciated. So let me get the tape off of each corner here. So these two cardboard pieces, one on the top and one on the bottom, there's tape there, and then it looks like there's additional tape kind of holding the books together. So lots of tape. Oh, Maximum Carnage. He cut up his short box and used it as packing materials. I don't know. That's cool. I didn't order. I don't think I ordered any Maximum Carnage. I mean, if he wants to send me ASM 361 as a bonus, I won't turn it down. Let's get this off too. All right, I think we're in. And again, in this video, what I've done recently, I've been skipping the grading piece. I think it's a separate process, and that way, if you're into kind of the detailed grading, you can watch that in a separate video. And if you are really just about seeing great comics, seeing where I got them from, and what I paid for them, and some of the price analysis, then this is the video for you. Combining those into a single video, it was a very lengthy process. So we'll do the grading separately. We're just going to go through each book and take a look. And strong start here, Spider-Man 2099, #1. This book has been picking up all kinds of steam because of the Spider-Verse 2 teaser trailer, where Spider-Man 2099 is battling with Miles there towards the end of the trailer. And ever since that trailer dropped, anything with Spider-Man 2099 has been hot. So a really great looking book. I have one other copy. This is my second copy now. This is red foil, susceptible to scratches and other things. So all of these books, by the way, were purchased near mint. And again, we'll mess around with the grades and the numbers and all of that. But here we go. Watchmen #10. Yep, right there, #10. And Watchmen, don't need to really talk about that series. An all-time classic, great series. I read the collected edition, the behind-the-scenes edition. I didn't read these back in '87 when I was a kid, but I'd love to go back and grab these when I find them to be affordable. Just comics that you got to have in your collection. And I've got a few pieces of the 12 issues in single issues. I didn't have this one, so happy to get this one. Watchmen #10. All right, so this one's interesting. I'm looking at the back, and it's got a My Comic Shop label. And it says #1 Fine Plus 6.5. And he listed it as near mint. So I don't know if he reused a bag and board or what, but this was a total FOMO buy. I chickened out on a recent auction with Heritage Auctions where this book was being auctioned off, 9.8 white pages, and I fell in love with Vision and Scarlet Witch around the time of WandaVision. Was not really a fan of these two characters together, not really a fan of this limited series. But once I started watching the show, as most people, fell in love with it right away and went back. And these books were, particularly attractive and picking up some interest, and just decided to pass. I don't want to buy these types of books necessarily when shows and movies are out. It's probably best to wait until afterwards. So I decided to wait. But I chickened out, and I got in a little bit of a bidding war towards the end. And I want to say the 9.8 was around $100. I mean, I felt like it was pretty affordable, and it was really a clean looking copy. But I had to stick to my methods and my formula. And when I got outbid and it started to progress above 100, I had to back out. And I immediately went and started searching by using my algorithms, and found this copy on Atomic Avenue. It definitely is miswrapped, as you can see, and unfortunately it's an angled miswrap, so it's not consistent. So up here, there's just a slight wrap from the back. So if that was the same all the way down, I wouldn't be too upset. But then down here, it gets a little thicker. So I am also concerned because the back says 6.5. Again, I don't know if he reused the bag and board. I'm going to grade it myself anyway another time. But I don't see any spine ticks at least. So that's a good sign that this is a near mint copy. Next up is She-Hulk 13, more specifically the Savage She-Hulk 13. And I picked up a few issues of Savage She-Hulk from this seller. This is guest starring the monstrous Man-Wolf, and this is from 1980. Trying to, again, target these properties that are coming into the MCU. Savage She-Hulk was also a series I didn't have as a kid growing up and wanted to add these to my collection. And I'm trying to do it now, sooner than later, before the show pops. And her series, not extremely popular back in the day. Again, these are not keys, but they still have value for the age, for the art, for the nostalgia. And now that She-Hulk has her own show and we don't know where that character is going, a lot of these Bronze Age Savage She-Hulk books, they're in the range of $5, $10, $15 raw, and I want to grab these listed in near mint. This one is suffering from a spine curl issue. Hard to tell on the bag and board, but it's definitely creased, not creased, just slightly curled, but no crease, so definitely could be pressed out. The spine on this one, again, looks pretty gorgeous in the bag. So far, so good. Really happy with those. And again, thanks to T-Wolf 0713 for the tremendous job packing this order. I really appreciate that. So here's another one of those Savage She-Hulks from the series. This is issue 11. And again, looking at the spine, really, really clean. A little bit of a spine tick there and up here, but really like this copy. Trying to get the single-digit issues, but I did want to pick up a couple of early issues, and this is number 11. And this is the third Savage She-Hulk book from the order, and this is number 3. So this is Savage She-Hulk 3 from that series. Again, this is a Bronze Age from 1980, and has a little bit of an issue on that corner up there at the top, right in there. Little bit of a spine curl, but again, buying these as near mint, it's probably going to have a defect or 2 or 3, and that's okay. But really, really clean book. Fun action cover here with She-Hulk. So really happy to add those, and been going back and trying to make a run. I don't have Savage She-Hulk number 1, but now I have a decent number of books thereafter. I'm treating that the way I treated Moon Knight, where I was going back and just buying all the non-keys random issues, and then they started to turn into keys as more casting rumors and more news came about. Here's another one, Dazzler number 1. This is her first solo series, which is always one of those sort of hidden keys, I would say. First appearance, second appearance, first cameo, first cover, things like that are pretty common. But once you get beyond things like origin, second and third appearance, if the character is to have their own series, such as this one, this is also a great key to pick up when that character has their first solo series and getting that first issue. This one looks certainly faded and may not end up being near mint, but I wanted to grab this because the numbers said so. So we'll check this out once we go through the analysis of the order. A few more to go here. Blade Runner number 1. If you saw my last couple of videos where I was talking about Marvel, it's like Marvel movie spotlight with Raiders of the Lost Ark and the first appearance of Indiana Jones, I was looking at other Bronze and Copper Age properties, and Blade Runner was on here, one of my favorite movies of all time, and also starring Harrison Ford. I don't know if that's a great likeness of him, but I think it's pretty close. And again, for all the reasons that I love the movie, I wanted to grab the comic. Again, I'm seeing a spine tick here and there, again listed as near mint, but a really great copy. And when you're comparing the fair market value of these books and the going rate on big auction sites like eBay and so forth, I felt like this was a good deal, and the numbers said pick it up, so I did. All right, the next one, there's a few Amazing Spider-Man. I'm always looking to get Amazing Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, and X-Men, Uncanny X-Men. To me, they're my favorite series, along with Iron Man, and always worth picking up. This one is one of those covers that people started to take notice of, and this is Amazing Spider-Man 346 with a great Venom cover by Eric Larson. Really tough with a lot of the black, and I can see already through the bag. This is suffering from probably 8 to 10 different hairline spine ticks there. Yeah, you can kind of see them. So they're kind of up and down. Again, this is why, other than the cover being super cool, it's definitely it's not an all black cover, obviously, but and kind of an all black border. And anything Venom is always a good pickup. And I didn't have this issue, so I wanted to grab this one. Is it near mint? It's not looking too good here. It's not probably not a 9.4 candidate, but this might be one that I give a press and see what we can do. And that's the gamble, but I wanted to have that and add that to the collection. 2 more Amazing Spider-Man left. Here's that. Maybe this is where you got the Maximum Carnage from. This is Amazing Spider-Man 362. I believe technically this is the second full appearance of Carnage. So, you know, early Carnage, early Venom are always fun to pick up regardless of the print run. This one had a little bit of a fold and a bend on it, so might need a quick press. Spine looks pretty good on this one. Corners nice and crispy. Again, we'll go over the numbers, but this was one that really wanted to have. I don't have 361. My first ASM Carnage is 363, so now it's 362. And when you can't get the first appearance, like I said, look for other keys, second, third appearances, origins, and first solo series. Last book is the oldest book that I picked up from 1979. This is Amazing Spider-Man 195. This was the most expensive book in the order. And again, unfortunately, an angled miswrap here at the top. It doesn't look too bad, but once we get to the bottom, you can see it's pretty miswrapped there. I'm not a particular fan of that, but that's not going to hurt the grade. There's a little bit of a color break there, but the spine looks pretty good otherwise. Real crispy all around. But yeah, I can see even through the bag, there's a little bit of folding there on that top edge. So I may have to put it through the humidity bath and press technique and press it out. But a book, again, didn't have a lot going on in this cover. Aunt May, Spider-Man under a big rock down here. Black Cat is on there as well. And Peter Parker's really taken it there from Betty Brant. So a lot happening in this issue. And that's the unboxing of the order. So now let's talk about what I paid for these books, right? I like to really get into the numbers, and I think you want to be honest and transparent. These were not all picked up at flea markets. I don't know where those magical comic book flea markets are, where you find like ASM 129 for $5 or something. If you have a flea market near you that I should check out, definitely let me know. But I always love those magical. I don't know how they advertise. Is it like, come get your, silver and bronze age keys at the flea market for, a couple of percent of fair market value? I don't know. So let's talk about the numbers here and break down the order. All right, so here's the order all put into the spreadsheet, nice and neat. And this is how I organize it. I try to run some numbers across an entire platform. So in this case, it's Atomic Avenue. In other cases, it's eBay. and then maybe it's all of the other online comic book stores combined. And then I break it down further by vendor or seller in this case. And as I mentioned, this is Twolf0713 on Atomic Avenue. And this is the list of the books that I purchased and what my total cost was per book. And you could see what I paid for the entire order. Now, if I move to the left, we'll see the fair market value, and the CP stands for cover price, and the fair market value as compared to column Z, which is my total cost. So if you're playing at home and you kind of want to do it right, you'd like for these numbers to be about the same. Certainly you want to pay less than fair market value, but every seller of comic books online, whether it's eBay to Atomic Avenue, they're all pretty savvy in terms of their pricing, right? You're not going to win an auction for a couple of bucks if the book is worth 100 and the condition is right. So you're paying roughly FMV, but you can still kind of see I did get some deals, and some of it's timing too. If you look at Spider-Man 2099 #1 here, so I bought this on, I believe the order was placed December 7th. Very quick turnaround too with that 1-day priority shipping. So this is definitely a seller I'm going to reach out to and thank him. So I placed this on December 7th, and this was after the news broke, but the Spider-Man 2099 hype train kept moving. So I paid $19.95 for it, and the fair market value across all grades, not near mint, not 9.8, not 3.0, all grades averaged out on cover price to be $26.57. So in this case, I don't know if it was necessarily a bargain, but I definitely paid less than fair market value. Same thing here with Vision and Scarlet Witch, and with Watchmen 10 as an example. However, the Amazing Spider-Man books, so you can see raw profit, that is the fair market value minus the total cost. And you'd hope that the fair market value is greater than your cost. And you can see in some cases it was about a break even. In these cases, I took a loss. And in some other cases, I turned a profit. So overall, if we're just looking at fair market value, and why do I do this? This is kind of your way of saying if I'm going to buy these books and I'm going to turn around and resell them or flip them as is, am I going to make any money? Is this a solid investment? And this is for, current day. If you're speculating long term, I'm a buy low and hold kind of collector. I'm not a buy low, sell high. I mean, I guess we all are at heart, but I like to buy low and hold, or buy low and try and keep the highest quality issue. So different strategies for different people. So if you're a flipper and you wanted to recreate this order, you would lose money if you were to turn around and resell these books. As sort of a long-term holder and investor and collector and lover of comic books, the fair market value, this column doesn't bother me too much. The column that I want is, as I curate my collection and I grade books and I want the highest quality books, it's this CGC profit column. So right now these numbers are highly negative because there's no value here because I haven't graded these. And what we're going to do is we're going to play around with the numbers and look at the grades, and I can show you why I ordered these. So let's take one, for example. Let's take the cheapest one, and this is Blade Runner #1. So if Blade Runner #1, I only graded a 9.4. The actual GPA CGC value of Blade Runner #1 in a 9.4 slab is $88. So that hopefully is an example of why I do this and why I do it this way. So I stand to profit $50, and that's after my cost to ship the book to Florida, have it graded by CGC, pay the grading fees, pay for the shipping back to me. After it's all said and done with the cost of the book and all of those grading costs, I still stand to make $50. And when I say make $50, I don't necessarily mean I'm going to take that slab and sell it so I'm not flipping through grading. What I mean is I've added value to my collection. And that's what I like to do. I want high grade, high quality books. I want many of them graded, and I want to have value. I want to have collectability, attractive books, and so on. And that's what I'm doing here by adding these books. And again, 9.4, maybe it's a 9.6. Maybe I help press these books. Maybe they've been sitting in T Wolf 0713's bin, in his Maximum Carnage bin for a while. So what's a 9.6? 93. It only went up $5. How about a 9.8? 318. Pretty nice jump there. So we'll look at the 9.8 here in a second. So let's take the next one. $7.36 on the She-Hulk 13. And a 9.4, it's $40. It's roughly a break even. Maybe, you factor in some other packing materials your time. It's a $4.48 profit there. And let's look at, how about Dazzler number 1? Now that one I'm putting a 9.4. I know that was not a 9.4. That was probably a 9.2, let's say. Still 45. How about a 9.0? 35. And again, I'm just kind of throwing guesses out there. So I might have lost out on that book. And again, this is the gamble. You take your wins and you take your losses, but you hope that overall, as you're trying this, that you end up hitting on a few books and maybe losing on some, but maybe your losses are small and your wins are substantially great. So let's just leave that as a 9.0 for now. I'm just kind of guessing. The next one looks to be Savage She-Hulk number 3. These, I think, they had a chance of being 9.4. Again, these are not huge money makers at 9.4, $15 profit, but still profitable, high quality. Again, these are books from 1980 that you can add to your collection at a 9.4 or 9.6 or even a 9.0. I love that. How about, let's just finish the She-Hulk, She-Hulk 11. And they're all about the same, $48 in a 9.4, $12 profit. All right, how about Watchmen? We'll get that out of the way, 9.4. $52, similar to the She-Hulk books, $14 profit there. And hopefully you've been watching this number here. This is the overall CGC profit. So this is the column that's the most important to me. I want to take a gamble and take a chance on an order so that the sum of this column is as high as possible. So we're still in the negative here, and this is if I just sent all the books in and maybe they got a no grade because it was just a waste of money. Obviously, we're going to fill in grades, and this number should be a positive number, but we'll see. So let's start moving into the ASM, and we'll start with 362. So this is that second appearance of Carnage. $62. I looked at that one. It definitely is rolled a little bit, but I mean, this is definitely a 9.8 candidate or a 9.6 with a press. How about just for fun, we leave that as a 9.6, $89. So that one looked pretty good. 346, that was the one that had some issues. So in a 9.4, that one's $89, but I don't know. I feel like that one might be a 9.2. So that's 58, and that's basically a break even. So that's part of it too, is you want to also find books that you're not going to necessarily lose money, even if you're not gaining. So that's even if you got that, let's say, pressed, clean, slabbed, and it still came back as a 9.2. Maybe the pressing cost you, or you're going to do it yourself, but that's more or less a break-even book. Now the ASM 195, again, that had a little bit of a wrapping issue. I definitely see a couple of spine ticks here, but it's really nice otherwise, unless there's a lot of damage on the back. That looks to be, roughly a 9.4. That one jumped pretty significantly, and that jump, the addition of that 9.4, let's look at that again. That took this order from a negative $22 up to a positive 110. Now the last two, the Vision of Scarlet Witch, again, I don't believe that I got a 9.8 out of that book. I still have some regrets around it, but this is an opportunity for me to get back at that 9.8 by upgrading. So if I send this in for grading and it comes back a 9.4, I could sell it for $60, make a profit of $12, and use some of the money that I've recouped from my cost plus that little bit of profit to maybe find a book that's in the 9.6 range and keep upgrading it to a 9.8. Or just buy the 9.8 outright. Okay, so the last book here, let me get this back aligned, is Spider-Man 2099. Now, it's a foil cover. Do I think this individual had a 9.8 lying around? I noticed a couple things as I was looking at it a little bit more closely. I don't know, but I'm going to go ahead and assign it in 9.4 just to be on the safe side. And in a 9.4, it is a $67 book. I'm going to pull it back just because it's the book that I think is the most interesting right now. And, you know, as I'm looking at it, there's definitely a few spine ticks that I can see through the bag, but it looks pretty nice. So unless it's completely scratched up, it's either going to be a 9.8 candidate or a 9.6. And again, I'm not going to assign any of these books a 9.8 other than just for fun here in a second. But let's just go ahead and bump this to a 9.6 just to see what kind of number we're going to get. And that's $84. So that's a $36.03 profit for an overall profit. Again, these are just kind of grading guesstimates. $254.09 profit if I were to send all of these books to CGC. So again, if you're flipping these books, you've lost about $16. If you're being honest with the grades and you send them in, you stand to add $254 worth of value, profitable value into your collection. Now, are all these 9.4s or some of them 9.6s? To some of them dip to 9.2. Again, that's where you play with the numbers. But what I love to do is just for fun, let's flip all of these to 9.8 and I can show you the potential that I was going for. So this is what I was, this is why I placed an order for these books as near mint in hopes that some of them slip in as 9.8. And if they all did, which again would be rare in this case, to get 100% 9.8s, and I know for sure the Dazzler isn't, but just again for fun, the total maximum value just from this particular $180 investment is $1,702.09. So again, I know they're not all 9.8s, but that's what I do in terms of the range. What I do is I say, okay, if they're all 9.4s, then the sort of minimum expected CGC value that I would be getting back after my investment, after my cost, is $255. Somewhere between $255 and $1,700 is where I'm going to land. I do not believe that based on the data that I accumulate from these sellers, that these books are anywhere around 8.5s or 8s. These are reputable sellers. They have feedback. They take pride in their books, and not all of them come back as a 9.4. Some are less, but some are in better shape. That's the gamble. That's part of the fun. I love doing this. I love looking at the numbers. So hopefully you kind of understand some of the method to the madness there. And again, another solid order of books. I love that era of comics. It's right when I was a kid. It's nostalgic for me. And some speculation in there with Spider-Man 2099 and She-Hulk. So that's kind of fun too, is mixing all that up, putting together a fun order, running the numbers, and just having fun with it. That's it. Thanks for watching. Happy collecting, and see you next time.